Inspire with Nendrix, the foundation.
Hello, Embracing Girls community. This is Dr. Danielle Hairston with Your Best Life and another 5-minute quickie. I'm coming back to you with, part 2, actually, of a conversation I started about a week ago regarding grandparenting. So you already know that I have my granddaughter, this summer, and this is the first time that we've had an extended time together. And the very first time that she spent summer days with me was 3 years ago. So she was 8 years old. I had her in summer camp all day long, every other week. So 1 week in summer camp, 1 week with me, 1 week in summer camp, 1 week with me. And so it was a really good balance, and because I was still working in the office, and so the camp was an important time. And so by the time she got home at the end of the day, she was so tapped out and exhausted, like she was just done. Like sometimes didn't even want to eat. I had to make her wake up and eat. So that was really good. That was a good balance. And so this time didn't necessarily need to put her in summer camp because I am working from home, and it allowed me to be able to spend 4 days with her. In between my work sessions and meetings and things like that, I could still get up and make her breakfast, and still get up and make her lunch, and still do things, arts and crafts with her throughout the day. But in my last talk, I was just kind of giving you some tips at preparing for bringing your grandchild to your home, and what to expect. And so some of the things that I also want to share is just having some ground rules established with your grandchild. Like that is so critical. Being very consistent about those ground rules, right? So these are the rules, and not a lot of ground rules because that overwhelms young people. But stay focused on those really, really important things that matters, right? The other things that don't matter just, don't matter. Like, making up your bed. I mean, to some people that's like a big deal, but does it really matter? Like, is that really going to impact the dynamic of your relationship or her experience for the summer? No. So I have really basic, rules, no disrespect, clean up behind yourself. I don't touch things that don't belong to you, i.e. don't go into grandma's bedroom and grab her makeup. And the other, thing is really the bottom line was have fun, right? Be open to the experience. And so that has been pretty much our ground rules. That's important, establishing those ground rules. The other thing is, if a ground rule is broken, already establish what the consequences of that will be. Now, physical punishment, I don't advocate that. I don't do it. And so I will tell you not to do that because that doesn't really accomplish anything, in my opinion. But being firm and consistent and following through with whatever the consequences are, and communicate those consequences. Don't randomly make up a consequence. If the consequence of breaking a ground rule is you don't get to swim for 2 days, then let's stick to those consequences and follow through, because you're building trust also, and you really want your grandchild to understand what can be expected. So set those ground rules and set the consequences for those, for breaking those ground rules ahead of time. And the other thing is spend a significant amount of time really having conversations with your grandchild and asking questions. I ran across this list of 36 questions that a researcher had pulled together. I want to say a researcher out of Harvard maybe, but it was 36 questions that was designed with the intent that they believe that if you ask these questions to a loved one, the love bond will grow deeper. And so it was intended for couples. And so I pull out those questions often, and her and I will kind of go back and ask each other, some of those questions, just so we can get to know one another, and spend some time kind of doing that. Maybe we'll take a walk, and we'll go back and forth asking and answering those questions. And I find that to be really helpful for us to get to know one another better, because I'm long distance, and so I'm not able to be in her presence all the time. And so that's been really, 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 really helpful for me, as we are building our relationship and getting to know one another and spending the significant amount of time together. It is challenging. There is a lot of other things that goes on with 11-year-olds. That is mind-blowing, right? And it's overwhelming sometimes. But I feel like if you stay consistent with setting the ground rules, establishing what the consequences of those ground rules are ahead of time, so that they know what to expect, and you stick to it so that they can develop trust with you, and you also have conversations. Find time to have deep conversations and asking questions of one another so that you can get to know one another. I think that would make a huge difference in your experience with your grandparenting in the summer. So that's my 5-minute quickie. Continue to go out in the community and embrace someone, because they're waiting on you. Live your absolute best life. Remember to like, comment, and share, and let me know what you think. Talk to you soon.
My Lacasa boy, this is my residence. My prescription boy, this is my medicine. The world can be sickening and living in house resemblance. Not to mention the media's effort to keep us in the most simplistic state of mind. Lowest age bracket committing the highest rate of crime.